हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल डो टू स्टडी। तो आज मैं आप लोग के लिए फिर आ गई हूँ एक नए वीडियो के साथ और इस वीडियो में हम चैप्टर 3 फर्स्ट फेज ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल मूवमेंट डिस्कस करेंगे। ओके, सो ये हमारा वीडियो नंबर 3 है ये चैप्टर का। फर्स्ट वीडियो और सेकेंड वीडियो में हम बाकी सब पोर्शंस इस चैप्टर से कवर कर चुके हैं। ओके, ये वीडियो में हम कुछ प्रोमिनेंट लीडर्स, अर्ली नेशनलिस्ट फेज के कुछ प्रोमिनेंट लीडर्स के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। पहले हम स्टार्ट करेंगे दादा भाई नारोजी से। ओके, सो दादा भाई नारोजी इज ऑल्सो नोन बाय द नेम द ग्रैंड ओल्ड मैन ऑफ इंडिया। Word say the grand old man of India. Okay, so remember this because sometimes question can come, who is known as the grand old man of India? Okay, at that time you have to answer it as Dadabhai Naoroji. Okay, now he belonged to a Parsi family. Okay, earlier he chose teaching as his profession and he was a mathematics professor in the Elphinstone College of Mumbai. But later he left the job and in consideration with the firm or in business with the firm he went to London. Okay, and then again he came back to Mumbai and then he was elected as a member in the municipal corporation and then he was also very prominent or he played a very significant role in by raising his voice against the Vernacular Press Act and against the zamindars who were very cruel to the peasants. Okay, now his contributions, the role he played in the Indian national movement, his contributions towards his country are immense. So let's see some of them here. Okay, so the first one is he is India's unofficial ambassador. Now, why is this said so? While I was discussing about his life, I said that he went to London in consultation with some firm, isn't it? So at that time, during his stay in London, although he was not sent by any political party or any other organization for presenting the grievances of Indians, but he himself started or tried his best to present the grievances of Indians before the British Parliament and the British government. And furthermore, he was the first Indian to be a member in the House of Commons. Okay. And he also said that good and educated, talented and educated Indians should also be given higher posts. And do you know, due to his efforts, earlier while we were discussing about the achievements of the assertive early nationalists, we read that due to their effort, the ICS examination were conducted both in London and India simultaneously, both in England and India simultaneously, isn't it? Now, how this occurred? Due to the continuous efforts of Dadabhai Naoroji, this came to, that is the ICS examination, Indian Civil Service examinations were held in both London and India simultaneously. Okay, so this is the reason why he is known as the unofficial ambassador of India. Okay, now furthermore, when he was in London, he founded a London India Society. Okay, in collaboration with W.C. Banerjee. So in collaboration with W.C. Banerjee, he founded the London India Society. Now, in 1866, he founded the East India Association. Okay, what was the name of the association? East India Association. Earlier also, while discussing about the precursors of the Indian National Congress, we discussed about the East India Association, isn't it? And it was founded in the year 1866. So, who founded this? Dadabhai Naoroji in 1866. Now, this association became very popular and therefore its branches were also laid in Mumbai, Chennai and West Bengal or Kolkata. Okay. Now, we will discuss about role of Dadabhai Naoroji in the Congress. Now, in founding or in setting up Congress, Dadabhai Naoroji really played an immense role. While we were discussing about the Congress formation, you might have heard it, isn't it? You might have learned it, isn't it? So, now Dadabhai Naoroji became thrice the president of the Indian National Congress. If you will remember that while we were discussing, we also discussed that in the second session, the meeting or the session of the Congress was presided by Dadabhai Naoroji. Now, various important reforms like boycott, Swadeshi, and national education, now self-government, resolutions on all these reforms were passed by the Indian National Congress when Dadabhai Naoroji was its president. Okay. Now, the credit, yes. The credit for demanding Swaraj. Swaraj means self-independence. Dadabhai Naoroji was the first person to use the word Swaraj and to ask the British government Swaraj for the first time in India. Okay, did you get that? Now, we will discuss how Dadabhai Naoroji was successful in exposing the economic ills of India. Now, Dadabhai Naoroji was a great economic thinker too. That is, he analyzed the economy of India. He analyzed from where the money is coming from, in what purposes they are being used. So, by all this analysis and readings, he came to the conclusion that India's wealth was exploited by the British. Okay, that is, India's money was totally being exploited by Britain. In his book, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, in this book he explained the drain theory. That is how India's wealth is being drained from India and is being utilized for the development of Britain. Okay, so through this book he described the drain theory. What is the book? Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. You have to remember the name of the book as it's very important. What's the name of the book? Once again, tell with me. Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Okay. Now he passed away in the year 1917. In the year 1917. Okay. Apart from these, he was also the editor of the newspaper Rastgoftar. Okay, what is it? Rastgoftar, which means the speaker of truth. Furthermore, he also started a magazine and the name of the magazine was Dharma Marg Darshak. Okay, you have to remember these two because it can come as a one-mark question. Okay, so the magazine started by him is Dharma Marg Darshak and he edited the newspaper Rastgoftar. Okay, so here we complete the contributions of Dadabhai Naoroji. Next, we will learn about Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So now we will discuss or we will know the contributions of Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Okay, now he was also a very prominent leader of the early nationalist phase and he was also a professor of history and economics in the Ferguson College of Pune. Now he was very much influenced by the ideas of Justice Ranade and therefore he joined his association, that is the Deccan Society, and thereafter Gopal Krishna Gokhale was sent as India's ambassador to London. There he presented the true nature or the current condition of India before the British Parliament. Okay. Now let's see what are his contributions. First of all, persuaded the British for reforms. Although Gopal Krishna Gokhale used constitutional methods, but he was able to persuade the British for many reforms regarding various matters. Okay, he always opposed the government wherever the government took a wrong decision or wherever some wrong policies was introduced. Okay, now let's see in which issues did he oppose the government. That is, incurring huge expenditure on the British army. That is, using or wasting much money in maintaining the British army. And furthermore, he also opposed the adoption of discrimination, racial discrimination for appointment in higher posts. Okay, that is racial discrimination. That is only racial discrimination here means the British people and the Indians. As you know, all higher posts were fixed for the Britishers. Therefore, he opposed that such racial discrimination should not be there, and both Indians and British should be given equal opportunity. Okay. The third one is that he opposed on imposing high production tax on cotton. Now let's see what are his plea for the reform of legislative council and separation of judiciary from the executive. He played an important role in the passage of the Minto-Morley reforms. Okay, so he opposed the Minto-Morley reforms, according to which separate electorates should be given both for Hindus and Muslims, but he opposed it. And then he also served as a member of the Indian Public Service Commission and urged it to increase the share of Indians in higher posts. That is, while he was a member of the Indian Public Service Commission, he urged the British that the number of Indians that are appointed in the services should be increased. Furthermore, he also tried to persuade the British, that is, on the matter, that is, not to partition Bengal. Now, in further lessons, you will read that partition of Bengal was done on the basis of religion. Okay, so he pleaded the government that this should not be done. Okay. The second is Servants of India Society. In 1905, Gopal Krishna Gokhale set up the Servants of India Society. Now, what are its main aims? To train national leaders who are all across India. The national leaders all over India, their main aim was to bring together all national leaders and train them in the right direction. Some of the important members of the society were Srinivas Shastri and Hridaynath Kunjru. Okay. Now, he was a member of the Imperial Legislative Council. So, let's see, as a member of the Imperial Legislative Council, what roles did he play? He pleaded to abolish or to reduce, not abolish, to reduce the salt tax and the abolition of excise duty on cotton goods. Okay. And he also, by his efforts, there was a reduction in toll tax. He tried to introduce a bill by making primary education compulsory. That is, he tried to introduce a bill in which it was said that primary education should be given to all. But still, he was not so successful in this attempt. And then he impressed upon the government to reduce the land revenue collected. That is, he persuaded the government to reduce the taxation on land that was being taken from the people. Okay. Now, let's see what was the relationship between Gokhale, that is Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation. Gokhale went to South Africa when Mahatma Gandhi was leading the fight against the discrimination. Which discrimination? That is racial discrimination. He helped Gandhiji, Gokhale helped Gandhiji in his struggle against the racial discrimination in South Africa. And furthermore, the credit of bringing back Gandhiji to India to fight for the cause of Indians also goes to Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Okay, Gandhiji considers Gokhale as his political mentor. Now, if a question comes, who is considered as the political mentor of Gandhiji, then you have to write Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Okay, now he passed away on February 15, 1915. Okay, February 15, 1915. Next, we will discuss about Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee is considered as the father of Indian nationalism. Okay, who is considered as the father of Indian nationalism? Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Now, he was the first person to achieve or to attain to pass the civil service examination, Indian civil service examination. He was the first one to pass the Indian civil service examination. Okay. He was a nationalist leader, popular journalist, and an educationist. He was born in Bengal in 1848. Okay. Now, he also worked as a magistrate in Assam, but he was dismissed as he stood against the policy of racial discrimination. Then he chose teaching as his career, and then he became the professor of English at the Metropolitan College. So, till now we are discussing the third one, and the rest you can see that all of them came from teaching profession, and they have studied in abroad or they have worked in abroad. It means that they had high educational qualification which helped them to understand the true nature of India and the true nature of British government. Okay, so this education helped them to establish establish the roots of nationalism among the Indians. Okay. Now he was also elected to the Calcutta Corporation and remained its member for nearly 2 decades. His famous saying was, "Opposition where necessary and cooperation where possible." Now let's see what are his contributions. He established the Indian Association. Okay, while we are discussing about the precursors of the Indian national movement, we discussed about the Indian Association, isn't it? So it is one of his contributions as the Indian Association helped in the formation of the Indian National Congress. So who established the Indian Association? Surendranath Banerjee in the year 1876. Now, what are its objectives? To educate people, to create strong public opinion, and to arouse political consciousness and unity. Okay. The second is he created an all India political organization. That is, while we are discussing about the Indian National Congress, just before the formation of Indian National Congress, an Indian National Conference was conducted by Surendranath Banerjee in 1883, isn't it? So this organization was a trial to bring all Indians together and form a political organization. The third one refers to his political ideas. He edited a newspaper, Bengali, which served as a powerful medium for mobilizing public opinion. That is, his newspaper, the Bengali was really a powerful medium through which he was able to mobilize public opinion. And furthermore, he also stood against the License and Arms Act and Vernacular Press Act, and he also stood against lowering age from 21 to 19 years and other repressive colonial policies. Okay, so here we come to the end of the video, to the end of this chapter, the first phase of the Indian national movement. That is, we completed this chapter in just 3 videos. Okay, so next, tell me in the comment section, should I teach history or civics? Okay, so till then, bye bye.